question for you. Could you stand up from your recliner right now without using your hands, without rocking back and forth, without holding onto the armrest? Some of you just tried it in your seat, and some of you already know the answer, and it isn't the one you want. Stick around because this one question is more connected to how long you'll stay independent than almost anything your doctor checks at your yearly physical. And in the next few minutes, I'll show you the one habit that can fix it starting today. Hi, I'm Dr. William Lee, and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, this is a place for straightforward, honest health guidance for people in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond. No gimmicks, no scare tactics, just what actually holds up in the real world and in my years of clinical practice. If you've been here before, good to have you back with me. Today's topic touches nearly every patient I see over 60, the belief that walking is enough. For decades, walking has been handed to older adults as the go-to advice. Take a stroll around the block, get your steps in, you'll be fine. And walking really is good for you. I'm not here to argue against it, but there's a gap in that advice that almost nobody talks about in the exam room, and it's a gap that quietly costs people their independence. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what that gap is, and more importantly, the one simple thing you can do to close it without ever setting foot in a gym, where walking quietly runs out of road. Let's think about what walking actually asks of your body. Your legs move forward, one after the other, and in almost every moment, one foot is still touching the ground, carrying part of your weight. It's smooth, it's easy on the joints, it's safe for nearly everyone, but it's also, in a strange way, repetitive. The same motion, the same muscles, the same limited range over and over again. And here's the piece that changes everything once you understand it. After 60, your body starts losing muscle on its own, quietly, in the background, whether you're paying attention or not. There's a clinical name for it, sarcopenia, which really just means the slow fading of muscle tissue that happens with age if nothing actively resists it. Walking, because it's so gentle, doesn't ask enough of your muscles to fully push back against that fade. It maintains, it doesn't rebuild. So here's a question I ask my own patients. If muscle loss is the real threat behind so many falls, so much frailty, and so much lost independence, shouldn't the exercise we lean on most be one that specifically fights muscle loss, not just one that gets your heart rate up? Researchers who study healthy aging have actually zeroed in on a surprising predictor. It's not your weight. It's not your cholesterol. It's not even your daily step count on your Fitbit or Apple Watch. The strongest sign of whether someone will still be living on their own terms in their 80s is how strong their legs are and how easily they can rise from a seated position. That single motion, sitting to standing, turns out to be almost a snapshot of your entire physical future, the exercise that's been hiding in your living room. So what's the fix? It's not a machine at the local gym. It's not a supplement from the pharmacy aisle. It's something you already own and you use it every day without thinking twice. Your chair. The sit-to-stand movement, sometimes called a chair squat, is exactly what it sounds like. Standing up from a seated position and sitting back down, done slowly and with intention. It sounds almost too ordinary to matter, but when you break down what's actually happening in your body during that motion, it becomes obvious why it works so well. When you rise from a chair, you're lifting nearly the full weight of your body against gravity, using your thighs, hips, glutes, and core all at the same time. That's genuine resistance training, the same category of exercise people pay a monthly membership for at the gym, just using your own body weight instead of machines. Walking never demands that much from your muscles in a single motion because your weight is always split between two legs. Standing up from a chair asks one set of muscles to do the heavy lifting, literally. This is exactly why physical therapists across the country reach for this movement so often with older patients, and honestly, why I recommend it constantly in my own practice. After a fall, a hip replacement, or a long stretch of inactivity, this is frequently one of the very first exercises prescribed because it's so controllable. You choose your depth, you choose your pace, and the chair is right there behind you the entire time, like a spotter who never leaves. A story worth remembering. Let me tell you about a patient of mine. I'll call him Walter, out in Ohio, since that's close to where he lived. 78 years old, sharp as ever, and proud of the fact that he'd walked his neighborhood every single morning for almost 20 years without missing more than a handful of days. He genuinely believed that was enough. Then, one icy morning in January, he slipped getting out of his truck in the driveway. Nothing dramatic, just an awkward landing, and found himself sitting on the concrete, unable to push himself back up. Not because he was hurt. His legs simply didn't have the strength left to lift him. That moment scared him more than the fall itself. A neighbor helped him up, and when he came to see me later that week, I didn't tell him to walk more. I told him to start standing up from his kitchen chair, slowly, 10 times a day, no rushing, and no phone in hand. He thought it sounded almost too simple, 20 years of walking discipline. But 3 weeks in, something shifted. He noticed he wasn't grabbing the kitchen counter anymore to get up from the table. 6 weeks in, he tested himself, stood up from his recliner with his arms folded across his chest, no hands, no rocking. It worked. And what struck him most wasn't the physical part. It was how much less afraid he felt climbing into his truck on icy mornings after that. That fear-based shrinking of daily life, avoiding stairs, avoiding the porch steps, avoiding icy driveways in winter, is more common across this country than most people admit out loud. And it's fixable. How to actually do this step by step. Let's slow down and go through the movement properly, because doing it with good form matters more than doing it fast. Choose a sturdy dining chair or kitchen chair. No wheels, no wobble, nothing like your desk chair on casters. Sit near the front edge with your feet flat on the floor, about hip width apart. Keep your chest up and your gaze forward, not down toward your feet. Lean your upper body forward slightly from your hips, almost like you're about to shake someone's hand. Then push through your heels and rise slowly without any jerking or momentum. Once you're up, don't lock your knees rigid. Just stand tall for a beat. Then slowly bend at your hips and knees again, lowering yourself back down under control until you just barely touch the seat. That's one repetition. Early on, it's completely fine to rest your hands lightly on the armrest for support. As you build confidence, try crossing your arms over your chest instead, which shifts more of the work onto your legs. Breathing matters more than people expect here too. Breathe out through your mouth as you rise, and breathe in through your nose as you lower back down. It sounds like a small detail, but it helps keep your core stable and your blood pressure from spiking during the effort. As for repetitions, there's no universal number, so start wherever feels honest for your body. 5 is a perfectly respectable place to begin. Some people work their way up to 10 or 15 over the following weeks. The target isn't exhaustion, it's feeling your muscles genuinely working with zero sharp pain in your knees or hips. A few times a week is enough to start noticing change. Daily is even better if your body's up for it. What's actually happening beneath the surface? Here's something that might genuinely surprise you. Every time your muscles work against resistance like this, your body releases small chemical messengers called myokines sent out into your bloodstream. Think of them as tiny signals your muscles fire off to the rest of your body saying, "We're active, adjust accordingly." These messengers help calm down inflammation, help regulate blood sugar, and appear to support brain function as well. Walking triggers a mild resistance-based movement, like standing up against your own body weight, triggers it far more strongly. Then there's balance. And in my experience, this might be the part that matters most of all. Falls are one of the leading causes of injury for older adults right here in the US. One bad fall can quietly rewrite the next several years of someone's life. But balance isn't really about standing perfectly still. It's about how well your nervous system can react and stabilize you in the moment something goes wrong. Stepping off a curb, catching yourself on an icy sidewalk, reaching for something on the top pantry shelf. Every slow, controlled rise and fall from a chair is quietly rehearsing that exact skill, teaching your body, rep by rep, how to catch itself. The fear nobody really talks about. Can I say something honest? A lot of my patients over 60 start moving less, not from laziness, but from a quiet, private fear. Fear of slipping in the shower, fear of losing balance on the porch steps, fear of falling in the driveway and not being able to get back up alone. And that fear has a nasty side effect. It makes people move even less, which weakens their muscles further, which then makes falling more likely. It's a loop that feeds itself, and it happens so gradually, most people don't notice they're in it until something like Walter's icy driveway moment forces them to. This simple movement interrupts that loop right in your own home in about the safest way imaginable. You're rehearsing the exact motion your body would need to recover from a low position over and over with a chair standing guard behind you the entire time. Every single rep is a small deposit into your confidence account, and that confidence compounds. A quick important note here, and I say this to every patient. If you have significant joint pain, a recent surgery, or a condition your doctor is actively managing, check with them before starting anything new. That's just responsible medicine. Mild muscle fatigue afterward is normal and expected. Sharp pain is not. And if it shows up, stop and get it checked, making it stick. Once this starts to feel easier, and for most people it does faster than they expect, there are small ways to make it more challenging. No equipment required. Try lowering yourself over a slow count of 3 instead of dropping down normally. Or hover just above the seat for 1 full second before finally sitting. Tiny adjustments like these ask your muscles to work noticeably harder without adding any real risk. But here's the truth about what actually makes any of this last. It isn't intensity, it's rhythm. Attach it to something you already do every single day. Right before your morning coffee, while the coffee maker is still running, during the commercial breaks or your favorite show. When a new habit rides along with something already automatic, it stops feeling like a task on a list and starts feeling like just part of your day. And to be clear, walking still deserves its place in your routine. Keep doing it if you enjoy it, whether that's around your neighborhood, at the local park, or on the treadmill at the Y. It's genuinely wonderful for your heart, your mood, your circulation. Just think of the two movements as a team instead of rivals. Walking looks after your heart and your spirit. The chair squat looks after your muscles and your bones. Together, they cover far more ground than either one manages alone. Strength changes more than your body. Here's something worth sitting with for a moment. As the years go by, life has a sneaky way of shrinking without anyone announcing it. A road trip starts to feel like too much hassle. The porch steps get quietly avoided. An invitation to a grandkid's ball game gets turned down just because standing in the bleachers that long sounds exhausting. It happens so slowly that most people don't clock it happening to them at all. But strength works in the opposite direction. When your body starts to feel capable again, your world has a way of opening back up right alongside it. I've watched patients rebuild confidence in their legs and start saying yes again, to a walk with the grandkids, to that Thanksgiving trip out of state, to that flight of stairs they've been quietly dodging for a year. Physical strength and emotional strength are far more tangled together than most people ever give them credit for. If you've tried exercise before and it didn't stick, pain interrupted it, life got busy, motivation faded, none of that has to define what happens from here. Your next move doesn't need to be dramatic. It can be as small as standing up from your kitchen chair 5 times today, slowly, with a bit of attention. Real, lasting change almost never comes from one big leap. It comes from small, unremarkable choices, repeated on ordinary days nobody's filming. Before you go, if something in this video landed for you, even one idea you're actually going to try today, a quick tap on the like button genuinely helps us reach other folks who need to hear it too. And if you'd like more straightforward, honest guidance on staying strong and steady as the years add up, sticking around and subscribing means you won't miss what's coming next. I read every comment, so if you try this movement or already do something similar, tell me about it down below. I genuinely like to know. So let's bring this full circle. Walking is good, but it was never designed to be the whole answer for staying strong after 60. The sit-to-stand movement, free, simple, doable in any chair in your house, trains the exact combination of strength and balance that keeps people living life on their own terms. Your legs, your core, your stability, and maybe most quietly important, your confidence. Start small. 5 slow, controlled repetitions today is genuinely enough to begin. Breathe through it. Let the chair be your safety net while your legs remember how capable they still are. You're not too old for this. Your body isn't fragile. It's still listening, still willing to adapt, still capable of surprising you the way it surprised Walter on that icy morning in Ohio. All it's waiting for is one clear signal from you that strength still matters. So today, just once, without your hands, try standing up from your chair with a little intention. That's genuinely where it begins. I'm Dr. William Lee. Take care of yourself